start on the descent towards Swinley Bottom. Starters happy, and away they head. Check and challenge given a bit of time. Right on the inside, Sons and Lovers just pushed up into a handy position. Galen trying to track over. Ecure's Secret is also prominent in company with the colours of Ambiente Friendly, who's quite keen close to the lead. Liberty Lane's the one that's posted wide. Check and challenge just struggling to pick up the bridle early on. A bit of jostling in behind. Keen was Military Order and gave alongside Meydan a little bit of a bump. So Sons and Lovers at not a frantic pace. Ecure's Secret races in second. Galen 3 wide on the outside of Ambiente Friendly and Empjar. Liberty Lane's done pretty well to get in from that wide gate. Races in 6th place. The Wathnan horses come next. Haunted Dream, the grey on the inside of the red cap belonging to Haatem. Then the white cap of Torito. They're being followed through by Doha, who races in midfield on the outside of Military Order with Phantom Flight as they work up the side of the racecourse. Check and challenge is still towards the back. Also well back at this stage is King's Gambit as they climb and make their way now down towards the final 5 furlongs. So heading towards the halfway stage. Ecure's Secret on the outside of Sons and Lovers. Galen's red, white and blue in 3rd. Ambiente Friendly settled better with cover, with Empjar racing in 5th place. The blue jacket on the running rail. Liberty Lane out wider. Haunted Dream, the grey on the fence, just ahead of the same owner's red cap of Haatem and the white cap on the outside of Torito. Then Military Order with Doha as they spin the turn. Meydan Phantom Flight still towards the back in company with Passionate Glory. King's Gambit and last to straighten as they turn in will be Check and Challenge. So Sons and Lovers, Ecure's Secret and Galen making a wave. Empjar looking for a gap in between in black and white colours. Then towards the inside, Ambiente Friendly. Liberty Lane pulling off heels is Torito trying to go amongst horses. Empjar, Haunted Dream is badly hampered on the running rail there. It's getting very messy as Galen kicks for home. Galen it is who leads Haatem, Sons and Lovers. Ambiente Friendly, Liberty Lane. Empjar switches off. Right round the outside comes King's Gambit and also Phantom Flight. Inside the last, Haatem and Galen had first run on Empjar. And it's Haatem who's driven to the lead by James Doyle. And it's Haatem who wins the Wolverton. Haatem beat Galen. King's Gambit late on the scene. Passionate Glory unlucky. Military Order, Sons and Lovers. Behind those towards the outside was Phantom Flight, Ecure's Secret. Haunted Dream got an absolute nightmare run and has actually finished close to the rear. It got messy up the inside, but Haatem, previous winner of the Jersey Stakes, got out in time and ran down Galen. King's Gambit on the outside and Empjar there 3rd and 4th. It's close between those two. In 5th place, Sons and Lovers. First impression was that Military Order was the one that was unlucky, and then in 7th, Phantom Flight. So just to confirm that it is Haatem beating Phantom Flight, and a photo for 3rd between King's Gambit and Empjar in the Wolverton.
And that's a big result for Wathnan Racing. What a great decision, Richard Brown and the team, to step this horse up to 10 furlongs. A Jersey winner, let's not forget, at the Royal Meeting. No wonder he's getting a hug from James Doyle, who's battled his way back from injury. And this will cheer up Richard Hannon, crestfallen earlier today with Brazilian beaten. But my word, it was messy on the inside, Johnny.
He's a great horse. He got a lovely ride. He was in the perfect spot. Galen doing some job out. He was 3 wide all the way. He was doing it tough all the way. I thought he was going to hang on here. I thought he was going to outstay Haatem there at one stage, but in fairness to him, I think he stayed it well. You know, sometimes these horses kind of get pigeonholed as 7 furlongs milers. When you do step them up to listed company, they're going that bit easier, and I'm delighted for the horse. You know, he's had a few near misses. I'm delighted for Richard Hannon after today. You know, it's been so close in the big one. It did get messy down the inside, but I think the winner won fair and square on the day.
It just happened before there, but as Ecure's Secret was coming back down through the pack, if you like, he's tightened up Empjar, who's tightened up again Haunted Dream on the inside, and he was the main sufferer.
Yeah, he was keen, wasn't he? Ecure's Secret, he did himself no favours on the front end, and then that paid late as he fell back through the field. Here's the head on. He's in the yellow, the colours we're talking about. Haunted Dream's a grey horse. Oh, on the rail, look at that. Oh, that's not ideal, is it? But so competitive, these races. Everybody wanting to come with their run. Keep an eye on King's Gambit on the right, the chestnut horse with the white face and the black hat of Wathnan. He finishes very strongly. But Haatem, he's got a bit of a following, Haatem. People love the way he wears his heart on his sleeve. He was so solid last year. 3rd in the 2000 Guineas, 2nd in the Irish 2000 Guineas, won the Jersey Stakes. He's a star.
Till he's finished right on their heels and really rattling through the field was Military Order. Just watch him finish through in the Godolphin first colours, right on the tail of them, but all a little bit too little too late.
Yeah, those aerial shots from the wire cam, the drone, invaluable. Ruby Walsh joining us tomorrow. There's so much to pick out from these races. Plenty of bad luck stories, but I reckon James Doyle absolutely loves this little horse.
Well, James Doyle knows that what a good horse this is, but 7 furlongs in the Jersey last year, a mile and a quarter today, James. Tell me about it.
Yeah, first and foremost, well done to Richard Hannon and his team. He had a nasty enough injury last year, and they've done a great job to get him back. First couple of runs this season, we were thinking, oh, he's just not quite there, but he's such a big boy. He's taking time to really kind of get proper on his A game. Last time in France, I was thinking, should we take on the big boys in the Queen Anne or try and boss a race like this? And look, he was the quality in this race today. You know, he was turned out absolutely superbly by Richard Hannon's team, and he showed his class there. Thank you.
Lots of happy people here at Ascot supporting Haatem. And James, you sort of touched on the fact that, you know, he's really just bordering on Group 1 class over a mile. Could he be Group 1 class over this trip?
Well, that was a good performance because he did a few, obviously first time trying this trip. Ascot, as we know, that mile and a quarter start, you run downhill for a bit, and I didn't want to get too shuffled back, so I made sure he jumped, and he over-raced the whole way down the hill. Thank you. So he can certainly do better than what he's done today, and look, he'll need to if he's to take on the big boys in the Group 1's mile and a quarter, but no reason to say why not.
It's noticeable how happy you are to get this one on the board.
Yeah, look, it's a every Royal Ascot meeting, thank you, is very high pressure. And when you work for U.S.A Racing, who really target this meeting, you do feel it, of course you do. And it's, look, we know how hard it is. I've been here many a year trying to ride winners and gone away with nothing, thinking I had good rides, and you can never count your chickens at a meeting like this. So to get one early on the first day, obviously late on in the day, but to get one on the first day is brilliant. It can only be a good thing.
Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Well done, Tim.
And for U.S.A, it's all about Royal Ascot. The Aprediction, it's his brainchild, really, his racing empire. And Richard Brown and the team, their job is to find Royal Ascot winners. And they've done it on day one.
Yeah, James Doyle, top-class jockey, got injured there early in the season. You know, he's back a while now, but as he said himself, it's always the pressure's off for the rest of the week. You kind of feel you can breathe a little, and because Ascot is, you know, it's a tough place to ride winners, but he was brilliant on that horse today. Gave him a beautiful ride.
And Richard Hannon will come into shot in a minute. We saw him before the race, and he was crestfallen after a stallion. He loves that horse, and he said, "I'm okay now," he said. He shouted over. Well, he'll be better than okay now, because he's had a winner. Haatem won at 8-1. Galen ran big race, second at 13-2. King's Gambit, wide and late, 4-1 favourite in third. Joe possibly unlucky. One of a number of horses that are unlucky at 5-1. Sons and Lovers stayed on, having made the pace. They went quick early. And there he is, Richard, all smiles again. A few bad luck stories.
Yes, down the inside, but sometimes that happens, Ed. If the ones in front are dropping back and you're trying to poke a bit of room up the inside, you need a bit of luck. You know, you're riding them for luck. And as you asked me earlier, why didn't Ryan pull out? Well, if there's 4 on your outside, there's nobody going to move out of your way in Royal Ascot. It can get a little bit congested there, Jason, definitely between the 2 and the 1. In these big handicaps, you do need a little bit of luck and running. Yeah, and the ones down the inside, they just didn't get any.
You know, James has ridden some superstars. Obviously, we saw Field of Gold earlier on, and he was the rider of Kingman. He knows a good horse, but he had a little bit of affinity with this lad. Nice pat down the shoulder afterwards. That meant a lot.
Yeah, and like